Okay, we have another virtual energizing chat to bring you now in the virtual booth at the Vienna Energy Forum 2021. We have the great honor and the great pleasure of being joined by Norman Moyo, Group CEO for DPA Africa. Welcome to you, Norman. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Sarah. I hope you're well and safe.
Thank you so much, Norman. I'd like to begin by asking you, in your opinion, what the steps are in terms of what is most relevant for making progress with the energy transition. What's your view?
I think I would like to call it a change in mindset. I would like to call it a very positive attitude towards different stakeholders, particularly government across the continent. Particularly if you look at Africa today, we need a positive mindset from the government towards addressing this crisis, because energy has become a crisis in the continent, and the crisis requires a different mindset. But part of the mindset is one that says it's a good crisis, so never waste away a good crisis. How can we change the entire landscape, the legislation, the regulations, to really promote a new approach towards delivering clean energy to drive the economies and to drive the communities?
Thank you so much. So then tell us, because the program here is where action meets ambition. So I want to hear a little bit more about what it is that you are doing in particular, because I know that you are indeed taking action. Tell us how your projects, in fact, contribute to the ambition of achieving the energy goals by 2030.
I think the first thing we've had to do was to ensure we can address the biggest concern, which is the investment required to deliver energy. In fact, I think what is most fascinating about energy is there are three layers. There's the small users that need home power to power their homes. Then there are the large users which needs to deliver energy to the utilities to keep the utilities working and operational. Then there is a middle range, which is what I call the forgotten middle, where all of a sudden the corporates, the schools, the data centers, the telecom infrastructures has almost been forgotten in that mix. So as DPA, we are delivering distributed energy solutions to corporates and industries. That's our core focus. We are also financing these solutions. So typically when I talk to Unilever, I'm saying, oh, Nestle is easier for me. I'm saying to Nestle, you're in the business of milk and chocolates. You're not an energy company. Why don't I show up at your site? I'll put solar on top of your roof, and I'll be able to deploy some smart storage solutions to your building, and I'll finance it for the next 15 years. So you simply focus on your core business, and I'll be able to deliver energy solutions to you. And this is like energy as a service. So it's really decentralizing the energy delivery mechanism away from overly relying on the utility. And the utilities are struggling in the continent. But yet, a Nestle distribution center can generate its own power, and it can consume, and it can function very profitably. So our focus is distributed power is to be able to go to these corporates and deliver an energy solution and finance it.
Thank you so much. And given that, I'd just like to ask you, what is your message now to the participants of the Vienna Energy Forum 2021? I mean, what would you like to happen over the next days? What's on your wish list?
I would like, first and foremost, as I said, a change in mindset. We have got a crisis in the energy sector. We need a new mindset. We need new approaches. We need new innovation. And innovation is both in the financing, the way we finance energy solutions. Innovation is in the technologies itself, particularly the ramping up of the storage technologies. Innovation also in the business model. How do we deploy solutions across the sector? Let's understand, particularly if you look at Africa, every building in Africa should be able to be energy sufficient. Every building doesn't need to rely on the utility. So the utility should be able to power other sectors that are not easy to capture. So I think there are a number of stakeholders now, and it's time to embrace this opportunity and ride on the crisis.
Norman Moyo, thank you so much for joining us. As we mentioned, you are CEO of DPA Africa. Really appreciate getting your insight and just, so that the participants, people who might be watching this know, the chat with Norman is one of many, in fact, that are happening here at the Vienna Energy Forum. They're available on demand if you're using the virtual hop-in platform. Norman, thank you so much again for this virtual energizing chat, and greetings to Johannesburg. We really appreciate your insight.
Thank you, Sarah.